Thank you for tuning in to Christian 105.7. I'm Dan DeBruler, and we're talking today about the Lineman Rodeo, which is a statewide competition being hosted in Fayetteville on Thursday. We've got Terry Jacobs with us and Carolyn Hinson with PWC. Thank you both for taking time to join us today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, the reason we wanted to have this conversation is, out here at my level, we hear something like Lineman Rodeo, and really, we're clueless as to what a Lineman Rodeo might be and to why it might be significant to our area. So I'm hoping that between the two of you, you can adequately fill in the blanks so that we know what we're talking about when we hear Lineman Rodeo next time.
We shall try our best.
All right.
Well, I'll start, and I'm going to let Carrie go, but I will start.
Okay.
I'm kind of a layman when it comes to the Lineman Rodeo, because while I work at PWC, that is not my area of expertise. What excites me about the rodeo and why I feel people should come and see what's happening is we depend on linemen every day. We value what they do. When the lights go out, we're hoping they're doing their job well so we can get back on doing our jobs. And most of the time, you can't watch what they're doing. You just know they're out there. And the rodeo really gives you a chance to watch them in action. And the thing that amazes me the most is when they're in action and doing this stuff in their day-to-day jobs, most of the time they're in a bucket. But during the rodeo, they're actually climbing these poles. They're 30, 40 feet in the air and performing their job. And it's athletic as well as technical and skilled. And as a layman, it just amazes me to watch them.
Earlier I met William Reinhardt, who at Fayetteville Technical Community College is the instructor for the lineman course. And, I was able to tell him, I've been in communications all of my adult life, and where I first went to school, I actually walked past where they were teaching people to climb poles. Every day as I went to school, I would pass the pole climbing course. I didn't know what else to call it, and I didn't realize, how practical and important they were to our society every single day. And now we're the kind of station that as we see the effects of a storm pass us by, we are the people who are encouraging people to pray for and get out of the way of these people because they are trying to do their job. We're trying to help people simmer down, because I'm sure that as linemen you take some of the brunt, or at least some of the angry stares from people who are wondering why their power's not back on yet. So we do appreciate all that you do and mean to our community.
Definitely.
That is correct. And so the other thing you got to realize, this is a very dangerous job to do, and most of the time you don't even think about the lineman until something does happen. And most of the time when they're doing their stuff, it's either at night or during the day when people's at work or whatnot. So they don't get to see what these guys actually do for a living. So that's the flip side to it. You don't really notice or know they're there until something happens and you need them.
And you depend on them. And I think too, someone might think rodeo and they're out there having a good time, and I won't say goofing off, but they're not. They're doing jobs that they would do every day. So the things that they might encounter in their day-to-day jobs. And so the rodeo helps them be better at what they do as well. So there really is a benefit, as well as the pride. And obviously it's a competition, and they go in wanting to win. The winners of the rodeo will actually represent North Carolina at the 2020 American Public Power Association Lineman Rodeo. So there's a lot of bragging rights.
Yeah, and the APPA, what she just mentioned, is on a national level, where we're doing it actually on a local, state level. So it's an opportunity for them to shine locally and at state level. And like I said, the actual winners are able to advance to the national level and represent North Carolina.
And the guys that will be competing, obviously we'll have PWC linemen, which, we're a little biased, and we're hoping that they take home the trophies. But there's going to be between 80 and 100 linemen from all over North Carolina. And they work for cities just like Fayetteville that have their own electric system. And so there's really a brotherhood with the linemen. And we depend on these other linemen as much as we do our own. We've had some of the guys that are competing have actually been here following storms to help Fayetteville restore power, and then we also have helped other communities. And so it is a way for people to come out and show appreciation for what they do and to say thank you to these other cities.
I guess the biggest thing that I didn't realize when I first started doing this stuff is the military has actually got linemen too. So we're going to actually got some guys from Fort Bragg coming in. I think some guys from out of Virginia is going to be coming in and actually participating to help bring in that. We're trying to blend the actual military and the home utility together. So it's going to be nice to have those guys there and actually have them to showcase their skills too. So it's going to be nice.
Now, Carolyn, you mentioned a few minutes ago how dangerous this job really is, and I think these are the guys and the women who participate in a lineman rodeo or a line workers rodeo, who their peers think are worthy of coming out. And I realize, at a rodeo, you're out there, you're doing things fast. You're taking the everyday skills. It's people who could do them really quick, but that's not really the job. The job is not about being quick. The job is about being accurate and safe. And
right, and that's where the competition really is important, because they have times that they need to meet, because there's averages, and they want to have their personal best just like other people. But they are judged at every step of the way, all the technical, and if they get deductions. And so, it's nerve-wracking.
They're actually being judged as if they was actually doing it in real life, but actually been timed. So there's the safety aspect of it, too, the judges are looking at. So if they do something that would potentially harm them out in the field, if they're doing it for real, they get gigged for that. So it's like a real-life situation, but they're actually competing.
Imagine someone coming in here and just staring at you all day, watching you do your job, seeing if you do it correctly. And, that's what they're doing, because all the eyes are on them.
Well, Terry, besides the competition itself, you've got a pretty exciting and, I don't know another word to use, entertaining event put together. You've put together an event that is worthy of spectators coming out and taking part this year.
Well, we try, and like I say, us being a military town, we want to try to incorporate the military theme into it. So we've reached out to the Golden Knights, and they're going to be jumping in around 8 o'clock in the morning. Also, the 82nd Airborne Division choir or band, they're going to have somebody to represent to sing the national anthem. And also, like I said, we're going to have some of the local military competitors coming in competing, which is going to make for a nice situation.
And this is a way, anytime you host an event, you get to show off your community. And I think we are all extremely proud of Fort Bragg and the military. And this is one of the ways that for all of these competitors that are coming, we can show that off of how proud we are of our community.
Around the memorial type holidays, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, we take time and we feel the swell of patriotic pride. And I can recall during the last set of hurricanes that we had, as I was driving up Skybow Road, I saw all these lineman trucks lined up at the local hotels, and I couldn't help but turn around and go back and just walk that line and shake hands and say thank you. It was that same sense of pride that these people care enough about what they do, and they care enough about the skill that they carry, that they go to neighboring counties, states, and offer what they have. And that's just admirable.
And I think about them, too, as like first responders. These guys are out there doing the worst of worst times, doing one of the most dangerous jobs that are out there. A lot of time putting their own needs at bay to try to help others, because like doing Florence and Matthew, these guys are out here helping other people to get their power back in play when a lot of them at home had things they had to deal with, but yet they were here trying to help others. So I put them on the same level as first responders in the military, where they're actually sacrificing their time and needs to actually go out and help others.
You were a line worker too, or you are a line worker?
At PwC, my role is I'm an engineering technician. So basically I get to design the work for the guys to actually do. But I am blessed. They allow me to go out from time to time and actually stand beside them and hold a shovel and see what these guys do and help from time to time. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, just a few days ago, out where I live, all the power lines at residence level are all underground. But when something goes out, everybody starts looking for the pole, and then we see the substation, and we see somebody in there in a bucket truck or a couple trucks outside working, and we know that you guys are doing their job.
Right.
So it's not just about climbing poles; it's about all the things that you do to keep us connected, and it's so important to us. And we literally take it for granted, and we don't mean to.
Plus, it's one of those things that you don't realize realize what you got until it's gone. So we tend to take advantage, take it for granted.
I think sometimes, people take it for granted, but then it makes me happy that we do such a good job that people don't have to worry about it, and that really is the ultimate goal, is to do our job so everyone else can go about, not have to worry about it.
So in a sense, the fact that we can take it for granted really speaks to how good you are and how your training really helps us out, that we don't have to think about it.
We'd like to think so.
Yes, yes.
So that's an odd sense of award, but
it's true. It's true.
Well, again, the NC Municipal Electric Line Worker Rodeo is going on Thursday morning right here in Fayetteville. They're hosting the state municipal electric. How do you term that?
We call it NCAMES.
NCAMES. Okay. See, I was afraid to say it.
We call it NCAMES, and it is electric systems that are owned by cities, just like Fayetteville, and there's about 70 across the state. Fayetteville is the largest municipal electric system in the state.
Interesting.
And so a lot of the cities do look to Fayetteville to how are you doing it, and we're kind of a role model. So we're excited that we can show off a little bit this week.
And we're excited to help people find you while you do show off this week. It'll be happening from 8 until 2. The opening ceremony begins at 8 o'clock. And like Terry mentioned, the Golden Knights are jumping in.
That's
the
right.
All-American chorus will be out there with the national anthem. It's happening at the Military Business Park, which is just off Santa Fe, between Bragg Boulevard and All-American.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes, and if you turn on Santa Fe, it's near where the FTCC Collision Center program is. It's that huge lot right there, and you can't miss it. There's dozens of poles set up, and
we got banners, we got everything,
tents, and I tell people this is a one-of-a-kind event that you will not see it anywhere else, and I think when you go and see it, you get just really excited in watching what these guys do.
Well, earlier we were talking about memorial-type events, and a portion of the event on Thursday actually features a tribute to fallen linemen.
Unfortunately, we have had fatalities, just like other professions, and this organization comes together, raises money, and anytime there is a fatality, supports those families and tries to help them get through the difficult time.
So basically we incorporate that in as far as the open ceremony, where not only do we have a lineman climbing a pole with the American flag sitting at the state flag and the actual NCAMES Association, but we have somebody actually climbing the pole with the actual fallen lineman and flag to take and represent that organization.
And anytime you go to the rodeo, one of the I think one of the highlights is the flag raising ceremony, kind of posting the colors, because we will actually have either current or former linemen who will be climbing the poles to post those colors. And this year we have 2 retired PWC linemen who are both past champions of the rodeo. In fact, one of them was the very first champion of the NCAMES rodeo 20-some years ago. And then we have a recently retired lineman and his son, who is currently a lineman with PWC. And Chase, the youngest, is actually, I was thinking about it coming over here, I think he's four generations.
That's great.
He's the 4th generation of his family to be in line work. So he represents the future, the past and the future.
That's great.
You've given me a half dozen reasons to be there early.
That's right. I know, and that's what people say. Why would I want to come out early? And I'd say don't miss the opening ceremony, because it will help you just understand.
It sets the tone for the whole event.
It does set the tone, and it just come out, and we want the other communities to know that, or to see how much Fayetteville supports this organization and this event.
Well, I'm excited to be out there, and thank you both, Carolyn Hinson and Terry Jacobs. Thank you for taking time to come in and educate us a little bit and help me say NCAMES. And we're excited to join you on Thursday, not just to cheer on Fayetteville's PWC linemen competing in the rodeo and the local military also competing, but just to say thank you and to cheer all of our linemen on.
Thank you.
Thank you again, both for being here.